Tell me when we're good. Hello, everyone. I'm Lori, and welcome to How Do You Spirit? And we've got Chelsea with us, of course. And then our special guest today is Cori. Hello, Cori.
Hi.
How
Thanks
are
for having
you?
me. I'm so good.
You're welcome. I am super excited because Cori does human design, and I know nothing. Chelsea
I know a
has
little bit.
delved in it a little bit, right? But so we're so excited to talk about human design. And first, I want to ask you, Cori, how did this come about? Like, what got you into the human design?
So about 8+ years ago, I worked for the airlines, and they brought out uniforms, and many of us got very sick. And I got so sick that I could not work anymore.
Oh my.
And so I went through a complete life change. I had just gone through a divorce, just a lot of stuff. I just lost my brother, just a lot of stuff. And then that happened. And so I didn't have a job. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Because I had nothing. Like, it was a very scary time. And so as I became my own health advocate and started working on my physical health, I realized that a lot of our health stuff comes from other, like, spiritual, emotional stuff.
Yes.
So when you start working on all that, you get curious and you try all these different modalities. And so as I was going to school and learning and all that, I tried a bunch of things. And one day I got a text from a friend, and she said, go watch this video because I just pulled this thing up and I think it's you. And it was human design. And for anyone that knows human design, I'm a 5/1, and it was a 5/1. And I read that and I'm like, that's me. How does it know me? Right? So that was kind of the first thing. And then for 3 years, I just studied it. Just like, I've got to learn everything I can about myself, because it really showed me some things about me that actually I had shame about. Things that were true to who I am and gifts that I had that I actually was not using, or I thought were wrong. And so because I work with people with physical health, I do hair analysis, and I always talk to them about spiritual, emotional. I started to realize, mostly I work with women, and women come into my office and they're just lost. It's like especially when we get to like our midlife. I think that's why we have a midlife crisis, because we're like, I'm done with the crap. Yep. I'm not doing the old stuff anymore, right? But also, I don't even know what to do because my kids are all like, it's just a weird place to be. And so we like lose it, kind of, right?
Yes.
So women come into my office, and I'm like, everyone's lost and nobody knows what to do. So I'm like, I have to start doing people's human designs. Because if you understand your design is like your map. So if you look at astrology is super cool if you have your full natal chart done, because it kind of tells you who you are, and who you are based on your birth, right? Well, human design kind of tells you how to be. So here you are. This is your operating manual, right? Wow. So it helps you decondition. It's the science of deconditioning. So it helps you get rid of all that programming that we all have from society, family, religion, all of it. It helps you start to open up and go, gosh, the things that I feel inside are correct for me. I've just shut them down. And so just watching people, I love doing charts, because I did one yesterday. Usually I've met somebody once before I do their chart, or I've talked to them, and I did somebody blindly yesterday. And it was the coolest thing, because the whole time I'm putting his chart together, I'm like, kind of, you're always kind of questioning, like, is he going to resonate with this?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
What are they going to think?
He got on and just told me his whole life story. And the whole time I was like, that's in your chart. That's in your chart. That's in your chart. It was the coolest thing. So it's my favorite thing, because it helps you just understand who you are and be okay with who you are.
We're all different. Awakening, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned the hair. Tell me about that.
So I got into epigenetic hair analysis, and it's a German technology. So it's very advanced. It's not diagnostic, but it looks at your cellular. So it takes the follicle, the live cells in your hair follicle. We scan it into a scanner, and it looks at everything going on in your body, like everything. So even though it's not diagnostic, it'll show you things that like blood won't show you. So people usually will come to me when they've been everywhere else, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So for me, I had already kind of mostly healed myself when I found the scans, but I had 2 autoimmunes that just I could not kick. And when I did the scan and followed what it told me to do, they both went into remission, and they've never come back. So I combine your epigenetics and your energetics to help you heal, or really preventative. My human design is actually about prevention.
Okay.
So I help people prevent getting worse. Yeah.
Wow, I'm blown away by that.
It's
That
fun.
is incredible.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Is there anything else that goes into the human design, like besides like maybe the hair follicle testing or whatever? What?
Do you mean for like how those can relate with each other?
Yeah.
So no, epigenetics, epigenetics is basically the science of it's basically the fact that your genes can change. Only 2% of your genes do not change. So when you're predisposed to something, that's lifestyle. So that's why my business is the Aligned Lifestylist, because I'm like, okay, let's get you aligned with who you are, but let's look at your lifestyle and see what's going wrong. So ideally, people used to come to me just for a scan. Ideally, I'd rather have a session with you first, because sometimes if you're trying to lose weight or your body's out of whack and you have autoimmune, if your adrenals come up as number one in your scan, I can't give you any food plan that will help you, because we got to get the emotional stuff and the stress gone first. So they play into each other because I can see what the priority is. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I want to do this, but I totally have a friend that would probably benefit hugely from that.
Yeah. Yeah, send them on over. It's really, really amazing, and not very many people do it, which shocks me.
Well, I've never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah. And so why doesn't the medical code grasp this?
Because it would heal you.
Because
if you follow it, it will heal you. Like, it'll tell you. It's not going to tell you if you have celiacs, but I actually can look at it and say you probably have an autoimmune disease, or you probably have MTHFR. So I can't diagnose that, but I can look at it and say, let's just pretend like you do. We'll just change your diet in a way that will be efficient for that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just fun. And all the things we do, it's just fun to learn all these new things and play in them. And we've just been so programmed to just follow this one way, and it is clearly not helping people get better.
Yeah, and everybody's not the same, and that's just such a personalized thing.
That's the key word. It's there's no one size fits all.
Yes.
So when you can look at your own cellular data and go, oh, I'll give you a quick example. So my boyfriend and I love to rock hound. So we like go around in the spring, summer, fall and go look at things. Well, last summer we went into this cave, and usually mining caves are closed off so that because they're dangerous.
Right.
We went way into this cave, and we were picking into this rock that was kind of wet. And we got home, and a couple of days later, I was like not feeling right. And I was like, I wonder if my Epstein-Barr's coming back. But intuitively, I thought, it's not, though. I haven't done anything that would make that come back. So I scanned myself, which is really convenient. My radiation was off the charts, off the charts, and I've never seen one that big. And so I couldn't figure it out at first. Where is that coming from? A lot of times, if you fly on planes a lot, it'll be high, or if you work in a dental office, be high. And so I was sitting on the couch one day, and I thought, that cave. Yes. So I started researching the rock that we found in the cave, and that rock is actually found where uranium is. And I'm like, I got radiation poisoning. So I just treated it with there's things you can do to help detox radiation out of your body. But it was just cool to be able to go, oh, now I have an answer. Yes. Right?
Yeah, you would have never known.
Yeah, I probably would have just ruminated on how crappy I felt. And never fixed it. I
love that.
Yeah, so that's fun too.
Awesome. So let's get into the human design now. How do you set up appointments with people? They come see you, and how do you where do you start?
What is it?
What is it?
So human design takes into account, it was downloaded by a man named Ra Uruhu. And when I first found it, it was so validating for me that I didn't care where it came from. But when I found out where it came from, I was kind of like, okay, I'll just pretend like I don't know that. It's too far out there, right? My brain wasn't ready to process that. But he basically downloaded it in a very short amount of time. But when you learn it, you can't make it up. There's no way somebody's in their brain went, oh, let me make this up, and it can be spot on for every single person. So it was a divine download, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it came from, and it does have astrology in it. It's got some Tree of Life Kabbalah stuff, which is a mysticism of Judaism. It has the I Ching, which is ancient Chinese. Some people would know Gene Keys. Gene Keys is very complementary and very similar to human design, but more spiritual. And then it takes into, your DNA and your biology. There's just a bunch to it. But what you do is you just plug in your date of birth, where you were born, what time you're born, just like an astrology chart. Goes in, pulls everything up, and it gives you a body graph. And we'll look at yours. I don't know if you have a way to you edit those in or no. You could just put it. I don't know if you do show notes.
Yeah, I can put it in.
Yeah,
so that
we can
I'll have to take off like the time and place you were born though, because that's kind of private. But
yeah, and you don't have to do that. I can probably explain it in a way. But a body graph, it's just like a picture of a body, and it just shows it. Some of the energy centers are very similar to chakras, but it's divided off there. It's a little bit more extensive than that. And each part of each center has a specific energy. And so we can talk about your chart a little bit, but the chart tells you your gifts. It tells you how to make decisions. It tells you actually a lot about what your purpose is in life. There's so much it can tell you, but what I love is even like when you do what you do with your mediumship, I would guess that you have people that come and you tell them something and they're like, I knew that. So it's just like validation, right?
Yeah,
they're like, I've been feeling that. What I love about what all of us do in this kind of alternative world is that we're not telling you things that you don't already know. It's reminding you, or it's validating something that you're just questioning, right? So what I love about human design is that when people are like really stuck with something, I can say, this is actually how you operate. It's okay. So you're a projector. You guys are both projectors. I'm a manifesting generator. We have very, very different energy. We cannot work in the same type of 9 to 5-ish. I can work. I have the life force energy to do that. You guys do not, because you do not have an energy. You have no motor centers. Your chart is very, very open. The more openness you have in your chart, the more intuitive and empathic, the more you feel everyone else's stuff. So as average people in the world who aren't familiar with all of this alternative woo-woo stuff, right? Which it's not woo-woo, it's real.
Right.
All the people walking around that are like, oh my gosh, why am I stressed out? Or why am I angry all the time? Or why am I sad? It's because depending on what open centers you have in your chart, you pick up and amplify that specific energy. So you have everything in your chart is open, Lori, except for your throat and your ajna. So you have a head center up here, top, which is connection. It's like your crown, a higher power where ideas, inspiration come. Ajna is where you can take ideas and inspiration and go, okay, let's do that. That's going to work. It's also very fixed belief system. When it's defined, it's really hard to change your mind. And you can learn that. But for people with defined ajnas, like if you have familial religious belief systems, you really struggle to let those go. And so if that resonates, it's because of that defined ajna. Ajna is about your memory as well. Defined ajna usually has really good memory. Your throat's defined. Your throat is all about manifestation. And the gates, which are what I like to call your gifts, they actually tell you how to speak. So whatever gates you have defined in that throat center tell you what you're supposed to talk about. So I didn't look that part up of your chart. We'll have to do that later, but you have specific gifts that are going to say this is when and what you are here to speak about. So if we were to do your chart, it would probably, because you're very in what you're supposed to do, right? Yeah. Your chart would probably just validate that for you. But for some people, if they're just with the rest of my life, but I have this inkling, it might help them go, oh, I am supposed to talk about that.
Just providing direct.
Yeah.
And like you said, confirmation too.
So it's just like, so for example, manifesting generators tend to have their hands in a lot of things, doing a lot of things. They pivot. So for me, honestly, the most validating thing that I was right when I first started learning about my chart is I had a lot of shame around quitting. And I really even went back in my childhood and I'm like, what made me such a quitter? And so there was this deep shame. And so I've had lots of businesses. And so every time I got bored with a business and wanted to start a new one, there was this huge mental, like, a loser. Like literally, you're such a loser. You can't even finish anything, right?
Oh my gosh.
Well, guess what? That's what manifesting generators do. That's how they learn. And so all the things I've dabbled in have now compiled into one thing, mine. Makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So projectors, do not have that life force energy. So you
No.
really don't have even the energy to raise a family. It's that, like, if you are, not that you can't raise a family, but like moms who feel really overwhelmed and exhausted that are projectors, it's because you literally don't have that life force energy to manage all of that. And so then we get a lot of shame around that. Why am I so tired? Why do I not want to do this? It's because you energetically, it's your energetic body.
Wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need rest. And you're actually here to not do, but to see, which is exactly what you're doing. You're a seer, right? So projectors are here to not do the work. You're here to see. I love having projector friends because projector friends can bird's eye view, bigger picture. So if I'm trying to make a decision or I can't like get clear on something, I will call a projector friend and be like, hey, here's what's in my brain. Can you just, and they'll be like, yep, that's the answer. So does that resonate with you? Yeah. Because with what you do, that's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a lot of mediums or psychics. Not everyone, but
I know. I would love if you have comments on here. Do you let people comment?
We're not live right now.
But when you do, when people watch it, can they comment? Yes. Okay. Yeah, thank goodness we're not live. But no, so if I would be curious to know if you have mediumship abilities, are you a projector? Because that just really hit me just today when we were talking before.
That's true.
And I have a friend that's a projector. She is a therapist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's all of those crazy. Open centers carry, so you have an open spleen. Spleen's all about fear. So like in the world that we live in right now, everyone's afraid. And so it's really important for people that have open spleens to not get in the deep down rabbit hole of social media,
right? And
click the reels that suck you in, because I'm very aware of that, and I do not have an open spleen, and it bothers me. Yeah, the news is a no. Like, being around people who are in fear, like you will actually pick that up, and it will make you extra fearful. And so, like I've taught people. I have a friend that does a lot with crystals, and I've learned, and now with some of my clients, you know what, you need to just carry this crystal because it'll help you shield from all the crud that you pick up.
Yeah. I love the crystal. Oh yeah. Usually every day, but that is just so interesting, and how like it's almost unbelievable what you're telling me. Is that?
Because it's you're like, oh, how does it know?
How and to have it match so perfectly to somebody and what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to live life and all that stuff. It blows my mind.
It'll blow your mind more when you get in. Like, I literally, every time I do, it's the same with scans. Every time I do a chart or a scan, I'm like, how does it know? It is so crazy. But so you have, you're a mental projector, which is quite rare. I want to say it's about 2%. Don't quote me on that, but of the collective, right? But a mental projector, most people that I've worked with are either emotional or they're sacral, and that's your response. It's how you make decisions. So as projectors, you guys are here to wait to be invited, and that's really hard for projectors because most projectors spent the most of their life feeling unseen. Do you feel that a lot? Like if you were to so what I see when I'm with projectors in a group who are unaware of their energy is if you're standing in a group of people having a conversation and the projector's there and they're very educated and they have something tribute, if they blurt it out without being asked, everyone just looks, they don't listen. They don't listen. And so then what projectors tend to do is they do it more because they're trying to be seen, and it's really repelling people. So what projectors need to do is they need to wait to be invited, meaning when you're with the right people, they will feel your energy and they will respect you. So you will be like the most amazing person because they asked you for that knowledge. Yes. But if you're out like vomiting it out, it's actually really energetically. So you have to wait to be invited. So a lot of projectors struggle with that because they'll be like, well, I can't just sit here. I have a lot of projector friends that have businesses. Like, well, I can't just sit here and wait for people to come. No, you can put out there what you offer. Just don't push it on people, right? Yeah. You let them come to you. Like one of my projector friends, when she does booths, she could, like, for me, I could not just sit at the table and be like, oh, come. Yeah. I'd be like out there like,
I I'd be like,
and that's your way, is to just wait, just let them come to you, because you are it's that frequency. They'll come to you if they're your correct people, and then they will value you so much more if you allow that rather than push it.
I do that with my.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It surely does. I am not pushy with cells. I wait for them.
Good for you. So you're already in your energy. And our conditioning tells us, like when you're getting trained, you got to go pound the pavement.
Right.
Do this. Make a million phone calls.
I've never been that.
Never. That's never worked. Ever.
Yeah. So that's cool, because you're in your energy. You already are very aware of that. And that's where the validation comes, where you're like, I am doing it right. And if you just keep trusting that. So that's your strategy, that wait to respond, or the wait to be invited. My strategy is to respond, but it's not to just respond to everything. I have to wait till the universe goes ping, this is what's next. So I can come up with an idea, like let's say I want to create a course or a class. If I just do it, it'll be a waste of time. If I just go, I have this great idea, and I make it and spend the time, waste of time. But if I have the idea and then I just sit with it, if it's correct for me, somebody will ask me to do it. And then it will be successful. But we are so programmed to chase and just force. We don't, it's
get it.
And it's so difficult, especially for people who are not projectors or reflectors, to just, it's hard for us to not push, because it's what we've been taught to do. And as generators and manifesting generators, people ask us to do things because we have the energy, say yes to the wrong things, because it's where we get our love from, right? We'll just ask Cori to do it because she does everything.
Yeah.
And
you have to be the yes person when you're not supposed to be, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys, you're super empathic, super aware, feeling all the energies. Usually projectors are really good at doing things like what you do with mediumship, because you're helping other people. You've been able to feel all this stuff, all the people's feelings. So sometimes it becomes a dark side and a shadow because it's so much, but then you can flip it and you turn around and you're like, I've experienced all of it. So now I can help you. I only have 2 open centers, but what's interesting is the open centers I have are the type of people I've had to learn the shadow side of those. Okay. So when you know that, you kind of go, this is why life works out for me, right? or doesn't, right? This is why I'm pounding against walls, because I'm so against what my true energy is.
Yeah.
Because we've all been told fit in this box.
Yeah. It's just living in your alignment, supposed to be doing.
Yeah, like when Taco, because I already knew you were a projector, like when Taco said, you're going to get so busy, you're not going to have time to rest. I'm like, you should probably rest.
Yeah. You have to rest. It's imperative for you to rest.
And I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that. When the kids were growing up, I don't feel like I ever rest.
Yeah.
But I, again, was in that dark space, and now I do make time for rest. And I do say no, and with work, how I handle my real estate business is very different.
Good.
Like I really try not to.
Good.
Like, no, it can wait till Monday.
That's tough that's the conditioning for, like, you're working 24/7 for an average, that's what they tell you. You gotta be available all the time, so good for you.
Yeah, so I have been able to manage.
Well, it's just, it takes time and practice to program, right?
Exactly.
And it's so, like, I literally have to sometimes kind of have a conversation with myself. Like, you know what you're supposed to do.
Right? Why aren't you doing it?
And so it's just trusting that. Like, I tell people, if you're new to human design, learn your type, because your type will tell you a lot about who you are. So that's going to be manifesting generator, manifester, generator, reflector, or projector. Then learn your strategy and authority, because that's going to tell you how to make decisions. So your authority is mental. You're a mental projector. Meaning that when you're trying to make a decision, you need to you need to have the mental processing with another person. So you're going to want to call a friend, right? We talked about that. And you get clarity from just talking it out and hearing it and hearing what
and
the
then
other
my
person
husband
says.
say, I don't know why you asked me, because you don't listen to me.
Yeah,
anyway.
but you just needed to talk through it. You didn't need a solution from someone else.
Right.
The solution was in here. You needed to talk through it.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
But you're emotional, Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
So an emotional authority means that you you ride this emotional wave. A lot of people with emotional authority have very high highs and very low lows. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how we're built. People think depression or sadness is terrible. It's part of life. It's just we have to go with the flows. But emotional authorities are really usually, you can tend to have high highs and lows. So what happens is for you guys is that let's say we're all on a vacation together and we're having the best time and it's the last day and I say, Chelsea, do you want to do this again next month? And you're like, yes, I'm having so much fun. If you make a decision, then you'll probably go home the next day and be like, oh my gosh, I do not want to do that.
That's happened to me a lot.
Yeah. Or the other side of that is when you're in a low place, sometimes we make decisions out of desperation. So you have to make decisions when you're neutral. So when I say to you, Chelsea, do you want to go on vacation again next month? You're going to say, you know what? That sounds so fun, but I'm going to need to sleep on that and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
24 hours, especially big decisions.
She does that with me.
Good.
I'll ask her,
Let me
do you
get
want to
back to
go with me? And because I talked to her about going today if I had time, and she goes, well, let me get back to you. And then I have time anyway. And so, but yeah, you do that often. Let me get back to you.
Good job. I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's the big thing for people is they're using their energy incorrectly because they're putting it into things that are not correct for them. So, and as women, we're such people pleasers.
Yes.
Like such I'll do it because it's conditioning. We're just like, oh, be nice, smile all the time, be happy,
Take care of everybody.
do it all, which is great. We can do it all, right? We're awesome and we absolutely can, but we don't have to.
We don't. Exactly.
We can do it all and more. But what happens is that we're using our energy incorrectly, which drains us. But we're all one, right? Collectively, we're all connected in some way. What happens is let's say I call you, Lori, and I say, hey, will you help me? Say we're bestie friends. And I'm like, can you help me move tomorrow? And if you were a sacral responder like I am, it would be an instant yes or no. So for me, this is what happens is I'll be like, I don't want to do that. But I'll do it because we're bestie friends, right?
Right. Yep.
However, when you understand energetics and you follow yours, let me flip that. So you call me.
Yes.
And I say, I don't want to. But I'm going to do it because you're my bestie friend. I'll do it. Sometimes we do that, and that's good.
Yes,
that's okay, right? There's
do.
sometimes when we want to be there for other people, and we go against that. But what happens is when you learn to really follow your energy, everything happens the way it's supposed to. So if you say to me, or if I say to you, you know what? I can't. I don't even need to have a reason, which all women think they need to have an big explanation of why. You don't have to have a reason, but if I just say, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to be able to do that, what that does is open up the energetic field so that somebody that you need to ask or that you need to be in communication with that maybe has something that they're going to say something to you that is like life-changing. But I'm blocking that if I say yes against my own energy. So that kind of helps take away the guilt of saying no to some things that you really want to. And also some of us have like I have a defined head center. You guys both have open. I don't know if you do. Is your head center open? Do you know, Chelsea?
I can't remember, to be honest, probably.
Okay, so Lori's is undefined, meaning that if you're looking at a chart, it's white. So that means that you take on all of the mental pressure of everyone else, meaning you feel this urge to solve problems for people.
Yes.
And you can tend to get into solving problems that are not yours to solve because you haven't filtered out what's yours to solve and what's not. Well,
mine? No.
So if I as a defined head center come to you and I'm like in a bad mood, you will pick that up and it will ruin your day. So for my energy, I've learned that it's okay for me to back out of things if I can't get my energy correct because I'm affecting everyone else. And you've all walked into a room or had to meet somebody, you're like, oh my gosh, that person.
Yes.
It's because if their headspace is wrong and you're open to that, you're just going to be like, oh, I feel all of that ick.
Yeah.
If their self-talk is bad, you may come home and feel bad. One of my opens is all about self-worth. When people come into my office, I literally am like, I can feel that. So you guys experience that for sure.
Oh,
in other ways.
yeah. And I don't like to, like you say, I don't want to be you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
You do.
Aren't generators similar to manifesting generators?
Yeah, so you have manifestors, and manifestors are initiators. They're the only ones that are like here, let me come up with this idea, and then here you go, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the work, right? They do not have that sacral energy like a generator does. You have a manifestor, then you have a generator. Generators do all the work. They're the worker type. When you're a manifesting generator, you're like a hybrid. So you can do the idea thing and not complete things, but you also have that life force energy both. Kind of have both.
I always think they're so lucky. I'm like, I wish I had all that energy.
It's kind of like ADD though. Like I think a lot of people that think they have ADD are just manifesting generators. Because it is great energy, but most people are using it wrong. Some of the big things for probably everybody, but really generators and manifesting generators, if you're having sleep issues, depression, we literally have to burn that energy every single day. So if you're using it incorrectly by saying yes to the wrong things, or you're not getting physical movement every day, it'll actually affect your physiology. All of it affects your physiology, but manifesting generators and generators have to move every day.
That's
is it?
I get mine. He's probably a generator.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, he's always got to be up doing something. Like he does not want to sit down. He's got to be busy. He's always thinking of, oh, what can I do? He gets so bored in the winter because he's not out in the yard or whatever. So he will find projects.
Really? Yeah, that's me. But then I would burn myself out, and then I'd get mad and unhappy and grumpy because I'm like, I'm just doing something to do something. If you're a generator or manifesting generator, you have to do things that light you up. That is actually what attracts people to you, is when you're in your like, oh my gosh, I'm having the best time. That is magnetism for you. And so if you're just out being busy to be busy and you're doing things you don't love to do, it's actually a block. So because we do tend to do that. It's like, oh my gosh, I have all this energy. And so you just wait. Like I wait, like if I don't have stuff planned, I waste a time buzzing off energy. Dumb. So I've learned to just be like, oh, if I don't have anything planned today, I'm going to go do something fun, because that will bring me what I'm seeking, because it's kind of like you just let go. It's like flow. Like you just let go of everything else, go do your thing. For you guys, a lot of that's from rest, when you're in that downtime where you get answers.
Yes.
So you even said, I think, when you receive a lot. Yeah.
Right when I'm trying to sleep. So, excuse me. So could someone is working out or being gym, that kind of physical activity good for
projectors?
Yeah.
I think everybody needs movement. You just don't want to overdo it. And really, it's just intuitively with your body. A lot of women have adrenal stress. Like it's very, very common. And if you have adrenal stress, which if your nervous system is dysregulated, you're having adrenal stress in some way. If you're going to the gym and working out like crazy, you're actually making that worse. And so especially for a projector, if you're already having some adrenal stress and then you go work out, I've had clients that come to me and they're like, I have a personal trainer and I'm eating right and I'm doing all the things and I can't lose weight. It's because they're working out too. And their body is just like much for me. Yeah. So a lot of it's intuitive, but everyone needs movement, but everyone doesn't need crazy workouts, right?
So like maybe like yoga or like things like that.
Yeah, yoga, tai chi, just anything, like just being out in nature, going on a hike or a walk. Like nature is such, it's our power. It's like our plug-in, right?
Yes.
So nature is huge, but for projectors, it's more of a, like if you're a projector and you're working a 9-to-5 job and you are miserable, you have to really look at, is it the job I'm miserable about, or is it that I'm burning too much energy? Because projectors need jobs that have flexibility where they can stop, take a break, a long lunch or something to go rejuvenate.
Yeah, I've known about that about myself for a long time, and then when I started learning all this stuff, I'm like, whoa, it makes so much sense.
I know, isn't it crazy? And then you just follow it, because we've all been taught this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And I look at little kids. What's interesting is you look at little kids. I have a granddaughter that's home, and I like to just watch her because she's so in her truth. But as parents, what we do, mostly out of love in most cases, we're like, ooh, don't touch that. Ooh, be careful. Ooh, watch out. And then we put them in this box. Then we put them in public school, right? Then they're more in a box. And so a lot of the kids that I get that people will bring for scans, I get a lot of kids that are having sudden behavior issues from kindergarten. it's because this generation of kids is here to say that what we're doing is not working.
Yeah.
And so they're acting out, because of frequency. They're very sensitive to frequency. So when they get into kindergarten, their brains are just like, another big one for kids is MTHFR. If they have that and their parents MTHFR is a gene mutation that about 40+% of society has. And it makes it so they can't methylate B vitamins. And so what it does, there's not like a cure for it. You can get a blood test for it, but there's no point. It's just an expense. But what's happening with kids is moms are feeding their kids unknowingly. It's not their fault. Fortified breakfast cereals and breads. Well, those fortified cereals and things have fake folic acid. It's folic acid. So it's the real B vitamin is folate. So what that does to someone with MTHFR is just messes them up. And so like I'll say to people, if your child has a meltdown before they go to school and they just ate breakfast, they were fine when they woke up, ate breakfast, melting down. Could be that. But then the frequencies to go into a big school with all of the Wi-Fi and that, their little bodies just can't handle it.
And then they're told to
sit still,
shut up. And like I worked with kindergartners, I was just, oh my God, I just see everything. Like I'm like, I don't know why they force them to do all this, and they're just little kids.
Yeah, it hurts my heart so much. Yeah, I mean, when my kids were little, I'm 100% I would home.
Yeah.
And so I actually have a friend that she teaches human design in the homeschooling, that when people decide to homeschool their kids, she sits down and does the charts of the whole family so the parents know how to deal with it, how they learn.
That's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
So there's so many ways that you can use it. But if I could go back in time and know my kids' charts, I would have raised them completely differently. Because they all operate different. And then we as parents are like, what is wrong with you? This kid did that. Right? Yeah. So if you know their blueprint and you can, so I have a friend that has a daughter that's a manifestor, and manifestors hate to be told what to do.
Yeah.
So she's like, that's my son.
Okay. How old is he?
He's 14.
Really? Oh, you have a 14-year-old? I'm not old enough for that. Okay. You look so young.
I'm 37.
Oh my gosh, you look amazing. I mean, 37's still young, but I thought you were a lot younger than that.
You look amazing too.
Right.
Thank you. I thought you were like 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he's 14. Yeah, do his chart because that'll help you, especially as a teenager.
Yes.
Because my one friend's daughter is always getting in trouble at school, and they call her out in the hall, and she's like, obviously getting in trouble. And I'm like, it's because she can't fit into, like, her whole internal being is saying, don't tell me what to do. I already know.
Yeah.
And she'll say things that are very perceptual. Like, I don't want to do this because I already know it. Like, and so if you knew that about your kid, still they have to live in society, right? So you have to teach them how to be. But you can say, look, use this in a way that's going to help you, because down the road it is going to be beneficial in their adulthood. But if you crush it, they'll never use it. And it's like gifts. I have a lot of clients that have gifts of mediumship or, spirits and things. And they told people about it when they were young. And it got shut down, and they ended up getting sick as adults. And so that was the solution is, you know what? Guess what? You're sick because you're not using your gifts. So
I know a lot of, like, if you're not following your energy, do a lot of people seem to, like, start getting sick or not having energy.
Yeah, because if you think about it, most people are spiritually right now. And it's really because of the idol programming. And even people who are religious or spiritually connected, because they're too being fit into a box, right? So nothing against religion, but it's not spirituality. And so when you're, for instance, was it before we were talking about getting on, was it during? I can't remember if we talked about this during or before, but projectors, people that have an open spleen, that's all about fear, should not be getting on social media and going down rabbit holes, should not be watching the news. And so what's happening is the more we watch the news, and everything's an illusion now. We don't know what's real. Now we have AI. Anything can be manufactured.
Yep.
So it's very imperative that we learn to follow our intuition, our true selves. And so what's happening is the divisiveness and all the confusion is causing us to be more spiritually connected. There's also things in our environment and our food that ruin our, connection to higher spirit.
Right.
But when we're not spiritually connected and we're not listening, the body is the next way that our inner self tell us something's wrong, right? So usually it'll be like tap on the shoulder, hey, probably should change that, and you're like, okay, I'll deal with it later. then it throws a rock at your window, and you're like, oh man, but then something like with me, something catastrophic had to happen to wake me up.
Yeah.
And that's usually what happens. So with the body, if your energetics are off, your body is going to find a way. And if you have a purpose and you're not on purpose, somehow that is coming back to you one way or another. So you can choose to find it and figure it out, or you can wait till it's hard.
Okay.
So reflectors are very, like, less than 2% of society. They have none of their energy centers. So when you're looking at the body graph, you have these energy centers and their shapes. All of theirs are undefined. There's a difference between undefined and open. Undefined means there's no definition. So when you look at a chart, there's no.
Okay.
Open, 100% open means they don't have any gates. So when you guys are looking at your charts, there's gates, there's numbers on the side of the body graph, and those are your gates, your gifts, those like things you naturally have that maybe you think everyone has. They're really actually special to you. Things that come easy to you, or things that are, I'll give you some examples to get off track. So you have these gates on the side. Well, those gates get placed in the body chart. And when you're looking at your chart, your specific gates will be in a colored circle. So if your energy center is completely open, there will be no circle. There will be numbers in there, but none of them will be gifts. Does that make sense? Hard to explain without the body chart. So when you're, I just lost my train of thought.
I'll have to put some pictures up.
Yeah, put some pictures up, and maybe we'll have to do it again sometime, and we'll pull up a chart and look at it at the same time. But so when you're completely open, you're even more susceptible to that energy. So reflectors, their charts are completely white. They have nothing defined. They have gifts. Yeah. But they don't have any energy centers that are defined. And so they really feel they can be really chameleons, because it's all the things. Yeah. They're very sensitive, but they're also they're like the wise old souls. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's giving Pisces energy.
Oh, maybe. I'll have to dive into that. Yeah. So I only know one reflector. Okay. And so it's hard for me to like make comparisons, because you'd have to do several charts to really compare it, right? But reflectors, like the way that they make decisions is they have to wait a full moon cycle. So they don't have like anything instant. They have to just really trust and live in flow. So they're just living their days different all the time, and they have to get okay with that. Yeah. My thought is there's people that, a lot of us are in this world, and sometimes we're like, I don't even crazy town, right? We all kind of feel that. But there's some people who deeply, deeply feel that, and I think they're probably projectors, or really mostly reflectors. A lot of addicts are projectors, because they're taking so much of this energy, and they're like, what is all this? So but the more open you are, the more you feel. And so when you have really emotional kids, chances are they're just really open and they're feeling it all. And some of us, so it'd be fun to do your chart with your mediumship, just to see what really resonates with that. Because your gifts are, there are things that, like Chelsea, if something comes very simple to you and people are always saying, gosh, that's so cool, how'd you do that? And you're like, oh my gosh, that's a gift. And we think that it comes easy to everyone, because and it's very hard for me to have a boss. That boss gets out of integrity, I cannot let it go. And so I get in fights, or I stand up I have to stand up for truth. Yeah. And so my whole life I'd have people be like, why are you doing this? You're going to be in so much trouble.
I love that though.
But when I got that, like, people would be like, you're such a rebel. And I'm like, I'm doing what's right? So when you understand that these sides of you, like, some people have gifts of pushing the edges, so they're actually meant to like do naughty things and be crazy and try things. Because part of their purpose is to come back and show us what not to do. So we have been so conditioned about what's good and what's bad and what's a sin and what's not. And, things are detrimental. Like, we don't want to go do some crazy stuff. We want to be careful and smart and moral, right, in a lot of ways. However, some people really need to push those edges. And some people that are in like sketchy, I have a friend that's in kind of an alternative, she's not anymore, but an alternative job. And it just basically comes down to some people, they need light in that space. Like, so we have so much judgment about so many. When we understand people are Y'all are here.
We're
doing
designed to
something
do that.
and work
right?
together and not be divided.
Yes.
That's I'm so sad we're all so divided.
I still like with the kids and the school and they need to like integrate all of this.
It would be
Doesn't it
amazing.
If I
make you
could start
mad?
a school, I would totally do that. We would do mediumship. We would do. I mean, can you? It'd be like Harry Potter school,
my
kind
gosh.
of.
It'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Game changer.
We should do that. We should totally start like a charter school.
Yes.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So just learning the basics like that. I mean, your chart's so much deeper. You have a profile. Your profile, actually, the profile is like a fraction number. So you're a 1-3.
Uh-huh.
A 1-3 is somebody who is a knowledge. You're like a seeker of knowledge, but it's not on everything. So do you find that when you find something that inside and go down the rabbit hole?
But if in school growing up again, if I was interested in the subject, I would love it and I would deep dive. But this math and this science stuff, no, thank you.
Same.
And then I'm like just disconnected.
Yeah.
And that's how Colton, my son, is.
Oh,
In
really?
Yeah, he
school.
is. Mm-hmm.
He would get A's if he was interested. If he wasn't interested, well, he probably wasn't passing the class.
Yeah.
So that makes sense too. And again, we're forced into the, oh my God, this is maddening.
Isn't it so cool? So that one in your profile, you're a seeker of knowledge, but you're not going to share that knowledge until you're sure about it.
Yeah.
So the shadow side of that is fear of the unknown. Like you have to know. Like, so for me in my job and what I do, I'm not going to go share things with people unless I am sure, right? I'm not going to tell you something about your health unless I have really deep dive. Doesn't mean I'm 100% right all the time.
Right.
But I'm not going to just take something at face value off of Instagram and go, oh, I'm going to put that in. But if I see it on Instagram and I'm like, then I will go down the rabbit hole and find the proof before I share it. Yes. I have the one also. Yeah. The 3 is the experiential learner. So you're here to experiment, try things. Most 3s as younger people were kind of edge pushers, maybe broke rules, tried a lot of things. That true?
Yeah.
A little bit. Because your conditioning
I mean,
would
I
stop
didn't break
you.
the law, but
Right.
just a little bit of mischief.
Yeah, and it's just you're here to actually experiment so that you can come back and say, then people come to you and say, what do you think about this? And you can give them a true, because you've experienced it, right? So there's a purpose of that. Been there, done that, probably not a good idea. Love that. You're also a martyr, which means you will take the heat. It doesn't mean you're a martyr like feel sorry for me. It means I'll take the heat for this because no one else dares to. So I'll just take it on and I'm going to deal with it. And that comes naturally, whether you know it or not.
I did not know.
Yeah. So you can sometimes look back in patterns where you're like, it's kind of like my integrity gate, where it's like I can look back at times when I really just was like naturally doing something that would other people. Yeah. Do you know what your profile is?
Yeah, it's 4-6.
So the 6 is what so 6 has three separate areas of your life. Age is 0 to 30. And that's when you're like trying all the things, life, doing whatever.
Yeah.
You're in what they call on the roof. So you're in the 30 to 50. Tried a lot of things. You kind of experimented. You've done, lived some life. Now you're just kind of here to watch. You're kind of here to just go, what's everybody doing? Let's see what intrigues. How are other people dealing with this?
Yeah.
Your main goal as a 6 is to be 100%. Like when you get about 45, you'll start to have this feeling like there's something happening. Something's about to happen. It's because when you hit about 50, you're here to show us true authenticity. So you went through a period of kind of learning things on your own. Now you're able to watch people like not authentic. This is what authentic is. So that when you come forward, you'll be like, oh, I'm just going to be the example to others. So don't be afraid to be you. I have a couple of friends that are projectors that are 6s. When they walk in a room, you totally know that they're 6s. They're over 50. The way they dress, the way their presence is, you can just tell they just don't care what anyone. They're just like,
I feel like I'm getting there. It's been a long process.
And I can see that in you.
Yeah. So it's just, you could go forever on it. But get into your gates, because your gates are, if you really want to dive into if you're kind of trying to go, what's my purpose? Because sometimes you know your purpose. You know your purpose. You know
I
what
feel
you're
like
doing.
I do, yeah.
But sometimes you just need to tweak it on how to act on it, right?
Yes.
So your incarnation cross tells a lot about kind of your life story you're here for. So mine is cross of prevention. And so what that helped me with is I knew I was in my space of purpose. I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I was saving instead of preventing. So when I revamped the way my energy was, is I'm not here to save you and fix you. I'm here to show you how to prevent your health getting worse or prevent your life from spiraling down. And that just totally changed the energetics for me because I have a 5 in my profile. So when people see me, I mirror back to them what they need to change, and they either love it and they're like, "Ooh, love you, help me, save me," or they're like, "Get away from me," right? And so my whole life, I'm like, why do people either really like me or they don't? They don't even want to look me in the eye. And that's what it is, because they're seeing something, whatever that is, and they're either ready to change it or not. But what happens with a 5 is that people see you as a savior, and you become this massive people pleaser because you're like, they're just hanging on. And so I had to really draw boundaries in my business because my people pleasing was allowing me to do that. And they were doing that to me. And so what happened is when I figured out the prevention part of it, I was like, oh, if I just put myself out there as preventative, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to heal you and save you, even though I could.
Yeah. That's not your
job.
Yeah.
Right. And then it puts it back on. When you know your cross, that's when I would have to like study a little bit. Yeah.
We could have her on again.
Yes. True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So it's
Awesome.
fun.
I love that. I'm still, again, mind blown of all the things we've talked about. It's so interesting, and again, it's just there's so much, all the spiritual things, but it truly means so to our souls as a person
100%.
to grow and live our purpose. Right. My hope is that everybody can get on the same page. Do you know what I mean?
I think they will. I come to the conclusion though that we're not all here to grow the same way. Some people chose a different life path.
Yes.
So we have to be careful to not, like, we want everyone to see what we know and like learn it, but some people are just like, don't look at me. I don't. That is so bizarre too. And I was there at one point also.
Oh yeah.
But do you know who Sylvia Brown is?
Yes, she's my
You
favorite.
have to know Sylvia Brown. She has a book, and I can't remember what the book is. It's pink. It's in a pink cover.
I think I have it in my office.
Okay, so there's a part in her book where she talks about the Akashic records, where they keep all the Akashic records, but she talks about a chart. And I bought that book. It jumped out at me at a used bookstore a few months ago, and I didn't want it. I was like, that's an old book. I'm putting it back. But I couldn't walk away from it, so I bought it. And I came home and I started reading it, and of course I couldn't stop. But there's a part in there where she says, you designed a chart before you came here. And I was like,
exactly. That's
what? Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. So that was validation for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, we do have a chart. We do have
the blueprints. But
the whatever you want to call the dark side doesn't want us to have it, right?
Yes.
They want us to be confused, because then we're disconnected from each other and spirit.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Cori. This was amazing.
Thank you.
I definitely dive deeper into all of this. And the hair thing, I'm so intrigued. I totally love to do that with you. That's so crazy. From a hair follicle, how do you get the...
I would love to do that.
Pull it with
You
scissors,
just pull one out.
It out. I gotta have a puller, so sometimes I have to pull, and we pull back in the back of the head. But it's seriously, because I'll do a health review that you fill out prior, so I kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
And when that scan comes back, I'm just like,
what?
It knew. Yeah, because I mean, I
It's
can't
all
say
right
I'm
there.
looking at DNA, but it's
Right.
looking at your DNA.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Wow.
I would love to do
Yeah. I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
So interesting. All right. Well, thank you so much. Do you have anything else? Do you want to website?
Sure.
Plug your stuff?
Yeah, I would love to. So if you are interested in human design, hair follicle analysis, you can go to thealignlifestylist.com. That'll also come up as coribhealth.com. So everything I do group classes. I work with lots of practitioners where we do events. So if you're new to all this, you can learn all these modalities and just in a group space. And so, but if everything I do is at my website.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having
We're
me.
so grateful that you were willing to join us.
Oh, anytime. I could talk about this all day.
I know.
Yeah, we need to have you back on because there's so much to it.
Yes, for sure. Okay, well,
That's
thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.